Welcome to Traveling While Black.
Hey, what's up? I'm Anthony, this is my wife Marley, and welcome to another episode of Traveling While Black.
Yes, welcome back everyone. As a brief reminder, our show is based on our experiences traveling, and we base those experiences off of how good of a drive it was, how much fun we had, and most importantly, how comfortable do we feel as Black people visiting for the first time. So for this island series, we're taking you to a different island that is still in the Salish Seas, and it's a little more convenient to get to from Seattle.
And it's in another country. Yep, we are talking about Vancouver Island. And we took the Clipper Fast Ferry for the first time from Seattle to a city on the island, Victoria, British Columbia.
Yeah, and this island episode is a little different than our last island episode. Well, it's a different country, different drive, a shorter drive, and it's a little more of a city experience.
Yep, but like last island, still a great option to check out. So take a look at the episode, and as always, let us know what you think. Last week, while on the waters of the Salish Seas, watching for whales, we looked over at Canada at Vancouver Island, and we said that's gonna be our next stop.
Lucky for us, FRS Clipper has restored offering their direct ferry service to Victoria, British Columbia. This was great news for us because this was the only direct fast ferry service between Seattle and Victoria, British Columbia.
Yeah, the Victoria Clipper is a great to know option for getting to Vancouver Island, but it may also be good to know a little bit about the island itself.
As mentioned, Vancouver Island is located in British Columbia, Canada. And compared to a city like Vancouver, the island has a city that more reflects its British connection, Victoria.
Like Parliament Building on Government Street, bruv, because Victoria is capital of British Columbia.
Or its daily observance of afternoon tea. I can definitely go for that.
Now, the island does offer a lot of great options outside of Victoria, but since the Clipper was so convenient for getting to the island from Seattle, we wanted to see what we can do in just a one-day visit.
So we reserved our tickets on the Victoria Clipper and headed out for a day trip to Vancouver Island.
Drive grade. Other than driving to the pier, driving was not required for this episode, so we will cover the FRS Clipper experience.
So it's best if you buy tickets online at their website ahead of your departure date. There you will have different ticket options to choose from.
FRS Clipper was really cool to hook us up with some comfort tickets. That was dope. It was recommended that we lined up about an hour before departure time.
The line was pretty long just to check in. Be aware that if you have comfort tickets, there is a second line that begins closer to the front and will require walking around to the front of the line.
Since you will be going to another country and more than likely you're going to want to get back into this one, you will need to bring your passport or real ID.
After checking in, you board the fast ferry, and upon sitting down in the comfort area, you are offered a glass of Prosecco. That was nice.
Once the boat departs, tabletop service begins, where you can order other snacks and drinks. The views can be pretty amazing as well, and you might possibly see wildlife. Just not on the morning of our journey.
Yes, it was pretty foggy. The ride still wasn't bad at all and nice all around. It lasted about 3 hours. Do be aware that when you get off, you have to go through customs, so there is a little wait to get through.
But once you're through, you are right in the middle of downtown Victoria. All in all, the journey was pretty cool and the Clipper is a great option.
Convenience from Seattle, good wine, snacks, and a nice ride. We give our journey to Vancouver Island via the Victoria Clipper a 5 out of 5 for drive grade.
Level of fun. By the time we got through customs, we had 5.5 hours to see what we can do on the island.
Considering the time and where we were at, we decided to observe afternoon tea at the historic Pendray Inn. There we had a lovely afternoon tea that includes snacks and even got into it.
Yeah, I wasn't exactly sure what I was doing, but I got to admit, I kind of enjoyed the tea time.
Yes, afternoon tea was a perfect way to start our day in Victoria on the island. We had plenty of options to choose for the next activity, from the mini water taxis providing rides across the harbor to the many restaurants around the area.
But we were wanting to know a little bit about the history of the area. So what better place than the Royal British Columbia Museum, a renowned museum whose royal title was certified by Queen Elizabeth II.
The Royal British Columbia Museum offers some really cool exhibits, like Angkor, the Lost Empire of Cambodia, and Sue the T-Rex Experience.
Yeah, it was pretty dope seeing the actual T-Rex skeleton in real life. Along with those featured exhibits, we also checked out some other amazing ones that gave us more insight to the history of the local natural area and even the city.
Unfortunately, the Indigenous exhibit was closed for renovations. We were sad about it, but maybe next time. Still, this museum was actually one that I enjoyed.
After strolling through the museum for a couple of hours, we stopped into a local restaurant to grab some lunch and watch Canadian football. Well, we didn't go there for the Canadian football. It was just on.
By the time we filled ourselves up, it was time to head back to the ferry dock to prepare to board our ferry return to Seattle. All in all, the day in Victoria was a lot of fun.
Yep, everything from the ride over to the history to the beautiful weather and scenery walking around the city. I even had a great time at tea.
Even the ride back provided a beautiful view of the city. We will definitely need to come back to Victoria and really Vancouver Island in general for a much longer trip.
But this one was fun enough for the time being, and enough for us to get in the mood for the final season of Top Boy. For Vancouver Island, we give a 5 out of 5 for level of fun.
Comfortability for Black people. This, of course, wasn't our first trip to Canada, and this time, like the others, was very comfortable.
We met some pretty cool people on the way over on the Clipper, and that also continued on the island.
This time in Canada, we did see more Black people on the island. That definitely lended to the comfort.
Yep, friendly people and seeing a few of us means that we can give our experience on Vancouver Island a 5 out of 5 for comfortability for Black people. We hope you found this episode to be helpful and entertaining. Be sure to check out our previous episodes.
And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check us out on all of our social media platforms.
Until next time, beautiful people, stay up, stay true, and do you.